Okay, sir. All right. Okay. Good morning, one and all. So, let us continue with class. Last session, we started with our sixth unit, biodiversity, and we have in detail learned what is bio and diversity, and how we should develop awareness, and how it is everyone's responsibility to take care of this environment. Yes, children, I think you have gone through it, and I given a assignment. Is I hope you have done it. What was the assignment I given? Yeah, human beings cannot live on this earth without causing threat to it. So that is left to your opinion. So of course, to some extent we have to, but without damaging and destroying it, we should make use of all the resources which are available to us in the nature. Let us continue with that, and that is about yes, yes, children. Yes, biodiversity we're going through, and diversified flora and fauna on the earth. And in this air reading, we have right reading interview with Vanagar Mattai, environmental activist and Nobel Prize winner. And it is an interview conducted by NHK Radio from Japan. And how she was aware of this environment, she answered when people are asking about questioning, demanding for their basic needs like food, clean drinking water, fodder for animals, building material. Then she developed the conscience. These all come from the land. So first, she understood, realized that it should be dealt with the environment. And environment is in degraded state. So there is the necessity of the R is to rehabilitate the environment. And also she was asked how peace is interconnected with the good governance. So she was telling, so good environment and peace. Most of the fights are fought for these resources. So she was telling about the African stool. Yes, let me play that in her own words. We'll recap the last session. So you can listen to that. Yes.
It was the first time that the Norwegian Nobel Committee had connected governance, peace, and sustainable management of resources together, and had shown that managing the resources in a sustainable way and governing ourselves in a more democratic, inclusive way where we respect human rights and respect diversity and promote equity, that it is very, very important to peace, and that when you do so, you preempt many of the reasons why we eventually end up fighting each other. And so it was surprising to many of us and to myself, but it was also extremely rejuvenating in that we always knew that, but we didn't know that the Nobel Committee was also looking at the issue.
It was certainly something that was quite surprising to quite a number of people. But for your movement and for the Greenbelt movement, what did it mean right then?
Well, for many of us, of course, it was, as I say, very rejuvenating, very encouraging. That other people were also seeing things the way we were looking at them, and we are recognizing that many of the conflicts we have in the world are due to competition over resources, competition over limited resources that we have on our planet, and recognizing that unless we learn to manage these resources differently, the future wars are going to be more and more on these primary resources, and especially the essential resources like land, like water, and like the air we breathe, as a matter of fact. So for us, suddenly our work became extremely important and extremely valuable, not only to NGO movement, many of whom were also working like we were in the same areas, to women's movement, because we were very much part also of the movements of the women's movement, to human rights movement, which was also very important. So in many ways, what I saw was that so many people, there was such a wide spectrum of organizations and movements in the world that suddenly felt this was the first time that the Norwegian Nobel Committee.
Okay. The right children. So you've seen, you heard in her own words how she's telling the equitable distribution of available resources and the three P's: good governance and sustainable management. These three are the legs on which the basin development is placed, either globally or locally. Thus, she introduced the thought or the idea of sustainable management. She is the one who started the Green Belt movement. And next question, by journalist is NHK Radio. What was the environment like when you were young, and how did you go about saving it? So this is how it was then, and how it is now, and what you're going to do with that. So her answer: when I was a child, which is almost more than 50 years ago, the environment was very pristine, very beautiful, and very green. We were a British colony, and the British government at that time started to clear cut the indigenous forest, forested mountains, because they wanted to establish commercial plantation of exotic species of trees such as, okay, the pines. Right, let me explain this. So she was telling almost 50 years ago, then how it was, it is very pristine. What's the meaning of pristine, children? It's a pure and clean environment, it's unpolluted, it is so beautiful, fresh, yes, and very beautiful and very green. The last session we're seeing the pics of the highly polluted rivers, land pollution, and before and after the comparative pics. So it was not like this. 50 years ago, it was so pristine. We were a British colony. Then it was ruled by the Britishers. They established colonies almost all over the, yes, world. Even we were one of the colony, we Indians. Yes, then she said. And the British government at that time started to clear cut the indigenous forest. Indigenous means native or local. We said by in the biodiversity, geographically, certain plants grow according to the climatic conditions and soil nature there. So indigenous means the particular local plants which grow, they belong to that area. So in the native plants, and they're cutting it, clear cut, they're clearing the soil. Why? In our forested mountains, we have seen the forested mountains full of forests, plenty of okay, this different kinds of species of plants are there. Yes, they're cutting because they wanted to establish commercial plantation. Commercial, what's commercial? Money making for sake of business, industries. Yes, they're bringing the plantations of exotic species. Exotic means the species, the plants that grow in the foreign lands, not belong to our soil. You can say even indigenous and exotic as antonyms. The strange, unusual plants which doesn't build, which are not native, they're bringing them and they want to cultivate them here. So, in order to cultivate this exotic species here in their land, they are clear cutting the indigenous plantations for Which purpose? Commercial purpose, to grow the industries. The trees such as the pines from the northern hemisphere and the eucalyptus from Australia. These trees are very nice. They grow tall, they grow very fast, but as they grow, they destroy all the local biological diversity. All the flora and fauna disappeared. So, although we were getting commercial timber for the growing timber industry, we also destroyed our local flora and fauna. Yes, children? It is one said, what is the purpose of them doing that? Is commercial purpose, especially the timber industry. Timber, they got this eucalyptus. Timber is the wood used for the building material, furniture. Yes, the for construction, we use them. So this eucalyptus is brought from Australia and some northern hemisphere, different parts of the world, and they want to grow it here. Of course, they are very good. They are very nice plants. They grow tall. They're serving the purpose. They're providing the need. But in doing so, we have seen at the cost of the majority. In the last lesson we got in, at the cost of, okay, the destroying the local biological diversity. They're cutting the forested mountains are cleared. So we are missing a lot. All the flora and fauna disappear. What's the meaning of disappear? They're no more, vanished. These forests are the habitation. Yes, for these animals. And once their habitation is destroyed, where they would go? They had to move away. Gradually, their population reduces and they're endangered, and there is even the chance for the extinction. This is all a chain. So, all some of the species gradually they got disappear, no, plants and animals. So, although we are getting one benefit, one plus, but at the same time, so much loss. Yes, growing timber industry, we destroyed all our local flora and fauna. So she said, and still flora and fauna, plants and animals we have seen already last. As a result, these forests, which were the water towers, were no longer able to contain the water. So when the rains fell, the water ran downstream and ended up in the lakes and oceans instead of going down into the underground reservoirs, so that it could not come back to us in the form of rivers. So she said, they clear cut the forest. What is the use of forest? These were the downstream, the water towers. Which were the water towers? We said water collected on the mountain tops. They form the streams. They flow downstream, and the birthplace of the rivers. We say no. And again, this water is percolated into underground. They form the underground reservoirs which we use, which we pump through our bores and wells. Now this we are missing underground water. Yes, so because of the cutting down of this local flora and fauna losing bio this treasure here, natively indigenous things, what is happening? These are all disappearing. Down ended up in the lakes. So underground reservoirs we are losing. One thing we noted is that not only did the rain patterns change, became less, but also the rivers started drying up. We lost our biological diversity. So that's a lot of damage to our environment. And that is why in 1975, at the very first United Nations Conference for Women in Mexico, many of the women were saying what they were saying: we need food, we need water, we need clean drinking water, we need fodder for our animals. And I was wondering, what has happened? These are things that were there 20 years ago when I was a child. The environment has changed. And that's when I started this campaign to restore the vegetation and to restore the land and to rehabilitate the forest. She answered. What was the question? How was the environment when you were young? So she said, uh, in 1975, almost then only 20 years back when she was a child. It was so pristine. In the United Nations Conference for Women in Mexico, the women are demanding, they were asking, we need food, we need water. Then she was wondering, no, wow, why they are asking these things? They're all at our disposal then. We never fought for this, thought for this. They're ready-madely available at our beck and call, handy. What happened now? So that was her question, and that was good, plenty, and this provision is there. So now then she understood the environment has changed, the rain patterns has changed, the forests are cleared, the environment is damaged. Okay, and that's why the resources are in available, shortage of scarcity of resources. Then she understood now something to be done. Then she said she started the campaign. Contain now the soil is unable to contain means hold the water, rainwater reservoirs. Let me fix this. Yes, reservoirs means the source and store of water. Patterns, usually we have rain patterns, rainy season. Yes, children, how this water cycle we know, they're evaporated, transpired from the plants and again come back in the form of, there's a lot changes because of that. Less rains and no rains, the rivers are drying up, there's no underground water, so no water for the irrigation and cultivation. So this is all the continuous chain. There's no food for the cattle. Okay, so then she started the campaign. What was the meaning of campaign, children? It's a movement, it's a fight for a cause, it's a legal battle, we can say. Yes, when there is, even we have a lot of campaigns indigenously in India. Yes. So she started the campaign. What's the campaign? What for? The fight to restore the vegetation. Vegetation is the plant life all around. We know when we get up, right from fresh air, from oxygen to breathe, food to eat, shade to live in. You all know the benefits and the uses of trees of plenty. So we are missing them. We are missing them. That's why campaign of hugging a tree, saving the trees. Yes, now once it is done, now reforestation, afforestation, lot of things. Okay, so she started a campaign to restore and bring back to normal state the vegetation and restore the land and to rehabilitate the forest. Already said what is rehabilitation means. Uh, Once again come back, bring to rebuild habitat. The forest should be brought back. It won't take place in a fraction of a second. It's a gradual because these are all natural events, no children, natural processes. It takes time. So here I copied a pic for you how the mountains filled with all these trees, forested mountains. The phrase you should learn, forested mountains. They are the water towers, how water gather, flow downstream and collected. You can see this peak, and that develop the reservoir of underground water. So these are all mixed. So when she was asked, how was it? It was so pristine, so beautiful, so clean. But now this is what happened. Lot of damage is done. So she started a campaign under the name of Green Belt Movement, and she took the oath of rehabilitating everything back. So next question is, what happened when you started working with the women? So Envy, she's an environmental activist and also she fought with the women. She dealt with her set of same folk, the women, African women. So it is not easy to initiate and mobilize the people. Yeah, to be a leader and align others with the cause for which we are fighting. Yes, to impact. So what happened? What is the response? How we got the cooperation, everybody plunging into the campaign? Then she said, well, the first time when I told them, let us plant trees, she said, let us plant trees. The women said, they did not know how to plant trees. So I asked foresters to come and teach them, but they're very complicated. They're professionals. It became very complicated for ordinary literate women. Okay. So she asked, we don't know how to do it. Yes. Then she asked the foresters, the forest department over there, officers and the people work, the crew, why can't you please, come and help women to in the process of rehabilitating? Okay. Then these people came with all their diploma education. When they are very complicated, difficult. These people, these women are uneducated. They can't follow the what they're explaining. And they are professionals. Professionals means the specialists and experts in doing these jobs of rehabilitation or protecting them, preserving them, conserving them, a lot to deal with them. So it became very complicated for ordinary illiterate women. Illiterate. Here it's usually illiterate means uneducated, but here untrained. For any special even we can say nowadays older people there's a I am a computer illiterate means I am not aware, I am ignorant of certain facts. Okay, that is called illiterate. So these women are illiterate. So they told women what she told. Foresters at her request come to help them, but they are feeling difficult to follow them. Then she said, we'll use our common sense and just do what we do with other seed. Women work on the farms. Usually these people, you can see in the picture, say most of you, your parents, your grandparents, children, you see them going to the farms, fields, and working already because basically we are from agricultural backgrounds, and so we know how to do, how to deal with, tackle with the other forms like what is our the food staple food. Yes, so what we do with that, we do with this. We follow the same method. She said to encourage the women. So they are the ones who plant, they are the ones who cultivate, they are the one who produce food. So I told them that seeds of trees are like any other seed. So if they were to treat these tree seeds the same way they treat other seeds of food crops, there is no difference. Okay, how the food crops are growing. Yes, even here we rice and wheat. Uh, a staple food we grow. So let in the forest we need them for the other purposes like fodder and firewood. Yeah. So how we treat the seed, the process of germination, growth, sowing, all that, the same method we apply here. Yes, so it happens. I told them to look for old broken pots, even and put seeds there, and they will germinate, and they will know these are the seedlings from the seeds they planted, and gave them plastic bags to be able to put those seedlings and to nurture them what they were about a half meter when they were about half a meter long, then they could go and transplant them on their farms. So first she said, we'll use a common sense. Common sense means the sense, good sense, which that's what how you deal with your food crops. Let us deal with this plants also, and how we treating means handling, caring for, treatment, treat. So once she gives her some broken pots and plastic bags. We see in nurseries, no children. So first they grow, take them in soil. When the small seedlings or seeds are put, the seedling, what is seedling? A young plant. Yes, and when the seedlings, to nurture them, to bring them up. Nurturing means given what they are needed. So a mother nurses, we are nurtured and are given nourishment like water. What do plants need? They need soil, they need water, sunlight, and some of the nutrients like fertilizers. Yes, something should be given for the growth. That is what is nurturing, taking care and bringing them up is called nurturing. Some seeds were in the broken pots, like we have a plant pots. and when they grow to certain extent, so these can be taken to the fields and transplant them into their forms. Transplant means taking from these pots and putting them right into the land. This is of course seedling in the pots, so they can be transferred into the soil. Even here we observe now how transplantation is done. Okay, so she said, when she started with the women, how did they respond? What was the response? It's very difficult for them, for the ordinary illiterate women. Then she took help of some of the foresters. They come all the way to teach them, but it is very complicated. Then she encouraged these women by saying, let us use the common sense. We treat how we do, how we cultivate in a regular life, the food crops. They said, just do the same, apply the same with this for rehabilitation of forest. So they have done it. So germinated this plants, the seeds. When the seedlings have come out, the sprouts, and they were transplanted into the soil. You can see the pigs. You can enjoy this pigs. How this African women under Vanagari Mathai's, yes, leadership, the green belt movement, how they're working. So, but she said in the beginning it was very difficult for them, but they soon gained confidence and become very competent foresters. So I call them foresters without diplomas. Very interesting, yes. So it's going on as they're doing. It was difficult in the beginning, but soon it's not much. Yes, no children. If there where there is a will, there is a way. Once we are willing, we do something. It's very easy to adapt to that to us. And moreover, necessity is the mother of invention. That is their need. Their basic needs to be met. They have to deal with the environment rehabilitation. So they soon gain confidence and they become competent foresters. Yes, what is competent, children? Very skilled, capable. Till now they are ignorant. They are okay, illiterates of this cultivation, afforestation. Now they can become competent. You can learn the word competent means very skilled. They become experts, they're capable, talented, very easy to do. They become the specialist in the rehabilitation work, cultivation work. And I call them foresters without diplomas. Yes, she gave them a title to encourage. What is diplomas? Diploma is a qualification or a certificate. Yes, children, soon you're going to get your SSC certificate. Yes. So even foresters, when she called, they were all trained in the particular courses they have done, they are certified, they are specialized in that. But these ignorant and uneducated people without anything, only but direct practical in the field. That is always doing just as we call theory and practical. Yes, so practically they are gone into the field, they are done the work, they learn by their experience, learn by doing, and now they could get a title. She called them to encourage foresters without diplomas. So soon they gain the confidence. What's confidence? Self-assurance, belief. Yes, I can do it. What is confidence? Means self-belief, self-assurance. First we go, oh, we can't. Once they started doing it, they become perfect. That is confidence, belief, self-trust. Yes, children. So, like this, the Vanagar Matai could mobilize these women, and she started rehabilitating the environment for their basic needs. When she was young, she realized this everything is normal, but as the years goes by, she realizes damage, so repair should be done. Even before it become irreparable, so we had to stitch in. Time saves nine. So it's the time for all of us to what to do, the fill the gaps. Yes, repair this damages and reconstruct the environment. So here is an assignment for today, children. Describe the transformation of ordinary illiterate women into competent foresters. So last time I gave you a write-up. This time also I'll give a small description part how in this green belt movement how these women, ordinary illiterate women, are transformed, yes, ordinary women transformation into a competent foresters. So you can write all this how Annagari Mother started encouraging them and took their broken parts, they grow in their house. After the germination, the seedlings were again transplanted into the soil, and how they gain confidence and they become competent. Yes, all such things you can write. You can gather some more, read information and read the lesson. Reading is very important, children. Write down all the hard words. So many hard words I'm listing out for you. Language learning. So you should concern, you have to develop the awareness of this environment, how we should be the caretaker, accountable, yes, the right stewards of this environment. At the same time, the vocabulary that is concerning this you have to pick up. So I'll continue the remaining part in the next session, concluding session. Do that and be ready for the next class. Thank you so much. This is Glory Stamti from SSU English from ZPHS Sanlada. Okay, children, see you all in my next session. Be ready, read and ready for the class. Okay.
Okay, madam, is it over?
Yes, it's 30.
Okay, I'm stopping the live.
Okay, thank you.